Hello there, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Juan on Juan. It's your boy, Juan Cardona. And this is crazy to me. We're already 8 weeks into the season. We're at our halfway point. And it really just feels like yesterday when I started this journey with you guys talking about the NFL and analyzing each week. I've already done week 8 analysis. It's already posted and up. I'll try to share it with you guys. Um, and this one is more of my mid-season review. Um, Obviously, after every year, they do superlatives, MVP, offensive rookie, defensive rookie, etc., etc. So this is kind of like my warm up to that. Um, I feel like I did a really good job with it because I kind of took my time thinking about this stuff, and uh, and let's just jump right into it, guys. So like I said, mid season, I don't think it's gonna be that stretch to say that the New England Patriots are the best team in the NFL. The only team that I see is undefeated and still adding pieces, still looking to improve talent. So I don't know what the hell they're over there doing, but they're on a whole nother fucking level, bro. They're currently 8-0 with not too many games that I see them struggling with. I thought this past week was going to be maybe one of the few that they were going to struggle with. I thought maybe the Browns were going to get an upper hand on them. Chubb ran it up and down the field, so I maybe now that maybe the Ravens, because it's at Baltimore, they got at Philly, Cowboys come to them. They're gonna gotta go to the Texans. Chiefs gotta go over there. Don't know if Mahomes will be healthy by then. And then you see they still got the Bengals and the Dolphins on the schedule. So we might as well give them 10-0. And the other 6 games, I don't know. I don't know. This team could go 16-0 very easily. It's tough. It's tough, man. I don't see how this team loses. I don't see how they can. That defense is just it's insane. Like that defense for them is literally probably the best defense they've ever had. So they've scored 250 points and had 61 scored on them. I'm talking about 61 points in a matter of 8 weeks. We're talking about 8 points a game. Can you imagine what offense would lose a game when their defense is giving up 8 points? That's insane to me. They're number one ranked in that, obviously. Number one ranked in turnovers. Number one ranked in rush attempts. It's it goes really to show you that Belichick does not take a year off. That man is the greatest coach of all time. I don't think it's debatable. I don't think it's even to be discussed or talked about. That man right there deserves to go. Um, and yeah, I don't even know what else to say. Really, they're 8-0 and they're destroying every single guy. Everybody on their schedule they're destroying. Um, 33 to 3, 43 nothing, 30 to 14, 16 to 10, 33 7, 35 14, 33 nothing, 27-13. The closest one was the Patriots and the Bills, and oh man, that's saying something. That is saying something. Um, Jumping into our worst team, I think this one is kind of shared. It's definitely the Bengals and the Dolphins. What I just find interesting about these two teams is that with the Dolphins, we kind of knew they were going to be this bad because we saw it as the preseason went on. Their moves, their trades, everything that was happening, we saw that they were actively trying to be terrible. But I think the Bengals might be even more of a surprise that they're this bad. They've had AJ Green, Joe Mixon, they have Andy Dalton, they have a couple players on the defense as well. Like this was a well put together team, and I I just always have said that coaching holds more value in the NFL than anywhere else. I feel like if you're in college, high school, your player's natural talent will always trump another kid's talent. In the NFL, everybody's elite. Everybody's elite, an elite athlete, elite talent. Uh, so I think coaching really does come down to it, and I don't think Zach Taylor is a good coach. I don't know him personally, but I know him from his time with the Dolphins when he was a quarterback coach, and Bill Lazor and all that crap that they used to do. Oh, it's just I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I think they're trying to go the McVay route. They did it with LaFleur over there in Green Bay. That seems to be working, but they obviously have a lot more talent than the Bengals do. But these are the two worst teams, hands down. I'm not even gonna touch the Dolphins because we already know that mess, that fucking that hellhole over there. But the Bengals, I feel like, are a little more surprising that they're 8-0, 0-8, 8-0. Oh, they're 0-8. Um, just because no one really expected them to be trying to lose or attempting to lose, but you know. And it's funny, these two got it. They call it the Tua Bowl, Week 16. They play each other, so looking like whoever loses that game is gonna get first pick, and whoever wins loses, I guess. Um, Biggest surprise, for sure, hands down, San Francisco 49ers. If you would have told me 2 months ago that the Niners would be 0-0, 8-0, I would have looked at you like, nah, they're gonna lose to the Rams, lose to the Panthers, lose to the Browns, and these guys have completely destroyed these teams. It's not even close. Last week, 51-13 to the Panthers, who have won four straight. I mean, hey, if Cam comes back and balls out, he can send the whole San Francisco 49ers. He might as well just send it to Nick Bosa. Just send it to that boy and send him a thank you note. Because, man, these guys here, it's looking like the real deal Holyfield, man. They're playing Thursday night against the Cardinals. They have the Seahawks, Cardinals again. Oh, that Packers game is gonna be a good one. Ravens, Saints. So this is gonna be where we find out who they are against the Seahawks, against the Packers, against the Ravens, and against the Saints. That's I feel like how when we're gonna figure out how real this team really is. But as of now, I gotta give them credit. Surprise of the year, easily for me. MVP. Before we get to MVP, I just want to give you guys the NFC West standings. This is probably the best division in football currently right now. Niners are 7-0, Seahawks 6-2, Rams 5-3, and the Cardinals 3-4-1. And then let's just jump right into MVP. Before I give you guys who I believe, I took time with these categories when it came to player specific. I wanted to give you guys a couple of players that I feel have earned it, who potentially could still win it. And let's just start off with MVP. MVP for sure. My number one choice would probably be Russell Wilson. The guy has been incredible this year. 17 touchdowns, one interception. His team is winning. I believe they're 6-2, 7-1, something like that. And Russell Wilson has just always been a beast, and I don't think he's ever gotten the regular season accolades that he deserves or the credit that he deserves. He's obviously got himself a Super Bowl ring, so he's performed in the clutch moments. But this guy has just been balling. He's been balling all year with really, I would say, less weapons than what he had last year. He lost 89. Can't remember his name right now, but he was a good guy. He was a good receiver. Baldwin. How the fuck can I forget Baldwin? Doug Baldwin. He lost 89, and he just kind of got better. His receivers are balling. Lockett, Metcalf, I love. He lost this league like 2-3 weeks ago, and he still balling, still pulling up numbers. So I think Russell Wilson's one of three that could potentially really win this. My other two will first start with Mr. Rogers, who the last 2 weeks has gone like nuclear. So I feel like 7-1 does speak a lot. His team is winning, and he has 16 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So not turning the ball over, scoring touchdowns, and winning. And obviously he has that pedigree to his name attached to all the stuff he's accomplished. So Aaron Rodgers could potentially win this as well. And then my dark horse, which for those who follow me probably have no struggle with naming this next player. But my dark horse is Lamar Jackson. I feel like this kid, if he continues playing the way he's played, and he's going to start playing some better teams now coming up, this kid could win the MVP easily for me. I don't see how it's even a question. He's improved in every category. Look at, I mean, yeah, I get it. 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, but he has 3 rushing touchdowns. So let's give him 14 and 5. That's not a bad ratio. He's looking like he's gonna get 1,200 yards this year rushing, not throwing obviously, but rushing, just 1,200 yards rushing, and this guy just looks like he's gonna be the future of the NFL, man. He just looks like this is, if God willing he stays healthy. I really think this kid can go far, into his career, especially seeing how Harbaugh is literally building his team around him, and I think that's another key part about it too. I feel like MVP should be the most valuable player, as it is named, to his own team. Russell Wilson, if you take him away, that team's probably winning 5, 6 games. Aaron Rodgers, you take him away, that team's probably winning 4 or 5 games. Lamar, you take him away, they're probably winning 3, 4 games, and that's just me being nice. I feel like Lamar's whole team is set up around him, him performing, him succeeding, and then their defense is built on them having the lead. They're a run oriented offense first, so obviously they want to get the lead first to be able to run it down people's throats. And I just think that if he continues how he's played with versus the team that's coming up, I think that I know for a fact the Patriots are this Sunday night. Um, this kid could win MVP, and I have no doubts about that. But let's just say if Russell or Aaron go ahead and get MVP, either one of them, I definitely see Offensive Player of the Year going to Lamar easily, because those 1,200 yards, there's probably going to be a lot of top paid running backs who aren't getting you 1,200 yards rushing and probably close to 6 touchdowns. So I don't see that. I don't see a lot of running backs doing that nowadays, with all these committees and things like that. So I think he'll definitely win either offensive rookie of the or offensive player of the year, or MVP, but definitely offensive player of the year. That's not a doubt for me. My defensive player of the year, didn't even have to really go that far, or even search that many people. It was just easily Devin McCourty. Uh, the leader of that defense, some would say Hightower, some would say Jamie Collins, but McCourty is orchestrating all that. He's communicating, he's leading. 5 interceptions were week 8. Like, their defense is just ridiculous, and it would behoove the voters to say the best defense on the best team, and we're not gonna give defensive player of the year to one of those. Nah, man, I definitely think McCourty gets it. There's not a lot of other players that are really standing out or doing anything too much, that'll make me pop my eyes as far as defensive player of the year. But I think Devin McCourty would definitely should win it as of now. Which leads me to our comeback player of the year. This one I had two. One of which is Cooper Cup, which I personally am a huge fan of. The kid is a hard worker. The kid's a grinder. And you could tell that he's in a situation with Goff and McVay where they see his talent. They see that he needs to be fed. I mean, good gosh, look at last game. 7 catches, 220. What was it, a touchdown or two? I can't even remember right now at the top of my head. And if you just look at his overall numbers, like, he has 800 yards receiving, in 8 games, where his most he's ever had was 869 in 15. And last year he obviously got hurt, so that's why I would say comeback player this year. And I just think the kid is just a baller, man. Like, averaging 99 yards a game, that might come down a little bit, but kid's a baller. Look at the first down numbers. 32 first downs this year. He had 25 last year. He had 42 his rookie year. So his numbers are just progressing. And this kid's just an absolute beast to me. I love him. I love everything he does and everything he stands for. The other one is a guy who last year I drafted high in fantasy and burned my ass. So I'm a little salty, but I have to give him credit. He is 791. I believe he's either second or first in rushing for the year. What I love about Leonard Fournette, and obviously not necessarily what he's been through, but more so what he went through last year, is that he came out and said it. Dalvin is leading the league, by the way, with 832, so he's second. He basically his rookie year was elite, 1,000 yards rushing, a couple hundred receiving, I think double digit touchdowns. Um, but last year he really struggled, man. He only got 400 yards, played 8 games. So far this year, 8 games, 791. So he's doubled that production. His touchdown numbers are low. I will give you that. I think that's just a product of the field. And it'll average out. It'll even out. I don't want to say he's gonna go for a run here, but it looks like I don't see him staying at one touchdown for very long. And this guy's just an animal. You see when he's healthy, 90-yard touchdown his rookie year. Last year he wasn't healthy, so his longest was a 25-yarder. This year he's healthy again, and it's 81 yards, his longest. And you could just tell that this kid really took personally what happened to him last year. He took it as him being immature, out of shape, and definitely just came back this year with a different mentality, in shape, ready to go, ready to grind, not fighting. With other teams, if you guys remember him against the Bills. And I don't know, man. Him or Cup definitely should earn it. They're definitely elite players in this league who had an off year last year and have come back this year to definitely produce. I wouldn't be mad with either one at all. At all. Which is going to lead me into my most improved. There's three. And some people might argue with me about Dalvin. Just because he's shown flashes previously, but the guy has never stayed healthy. His rookie year, he only lasted 4 games, had almost 400 yards, not bad. Last year, he only lasted 11 games, only had 600 yards, not bad, not good. This year, he's just taken off though, man. Like already through 8 games, he has 800 yards, 9 touchdowns, a 75-yarder. The guy's just the guy. I feel like the game just slowed down for him this year. He probably put on some weight, probably put on some strength the last 2-3 years, being with the team, and just learning, just growing, and then finally having it all click together. It's a real sight to see sometimes. You see some players really take their game to the next level, and I definitely think Dalvin's one of those players who just really skyrocketed. We should have all seen it coming, but we didn't. I didn't. And I'm just really happy for him, man. He's hopefully he stays healthy, knock on wood, throughout the rest of the year, so we can see what numbers he can really put up in this zone read. Because man, let me tell you something. That zone read that came out of Denver with the Kubiaks and the Shanahans and all that, they make some great running backs, man. They make some great running backs a name for themselves, and they even made the good and the average and the bad running backs. They made them some money too, because I remember even with Denver back in the day, like it was literally, point and start. You wanna come play running back? Come play running back. Come start. Um, and it was just cool to see because a lot of the times you don't really see that. Like even now with Kyle Shanahan, you see here he has Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman goes out. He makes Breed into a workhorse. He makes Mostert into a workhorse. He has Jeff Wilson be the goal line back. So I just think like that system just translates to really put up good numbers as far as a running back. I got two more for most improved. The next guy's a personal fan of mine because they're actually on the same team. The next two, Chris Godwin. Some people might argue last year he blew up. I just feel like this year it's come all together. It's not as inconsistent. He doesn't miss games. He's played 16 games, his first 2 seasons in the year. He went from 500 receiving for your rookie year to last year 842, 7 touchdowns last year, 1 touchdown his rookie year, and then this year through 7 games because they had a bye. Already has 700 yards, so almost already surpassing his career high. Has 6 touchdowns, so already close to surpassing his career high. And I think the biggest thing is he has 41 first downs already in the year, when he only had 48 last year and 27 his rookie year. So he's just taking off with that. He's honestly most of the time kind of looked like the focal point of that offense, more so than Mike Evans. But really great to see his development over these last 3 years. I've been really focused on him. Once he came out as a rookie, I definitely saw the talent, definitely saw the flashes, and I wanted to continue. I drafted him last year. I drafted him again this year, and he's producing for me. This guy, I feel like for me in my heart, I would be happiest if this guy won it. His name is Shaquille Barrett. He's a linebacker, DN linebacker, whatever. But this guy coming into this year. He was a 5-year veteran with the Broncos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, he played 5 years with the Broncos. Had a total of in those 5 years 14 sacks, and then he comes to Tampa Bay, and then in 7 games he has 10 sacks. So he's about to double himself up, realistically. And what I like about him is I've seen a couple of the Tampa games because I follow the Panthers because of fantasy wise. And what I like about Shaquille is that I don't. He's obviously an elite athlete like anybody in the NFL is, but I feel like it separates him right now this year is he's elite with his preparation. I remember seeing a couple games where he was either reading like the running back or like the wide receiver or something because he would have like his jump is already ridiculously quick, but then him using that and adding in the preparation part of the work, he's just taking his game to the next level to where now this year he has 10 sacks, leading the league with 10 sacks. I just wanted to give you that. So definitely somebody that I'm interested in seeing play out the rest of the year. I hope this wasn't like some burst where it just kind of just dies out. I definitely want to see this guy continue to thrive and maybe even win himself that most improved player. And then let's just get into our rookies. I'm a big fan of the rookies just because it kind of shows you what the future is going to look like for everybody. And for offensive rookie of the year, some people or most everybody would probably go Kyler. I don't even think he's the best quarterback so far. I think that would easily go to Gardner. Gardner is out here and has 12 yards less throwing than him. He's averaging almost a full yard more, has more wins, doubles his touchdowns, cuts his interceptions in half, so 13-2, 7-4. And he's just been a lot better, man. I feel like I don't want to take anything away from Kyler, but Gardner's definitely been a surprising story at that, just because of how a 6th-round pick from Washington State, like, what the hell? Like, where do you see that stuff happen? But it's good to see. I'll show you guys the rushing numbers, too. I think it's very simple for rushing. I think it's just Jacobs who could even have an argument for Rookie of the Year. Everybody else is really mediocre or below. Montgomery has had his moments or had his moment last week. So I definitely think it's just Jacobs here. And then receiving, I'm a personal fan of Terry McLaurin. I don't think there's anybody better than him. Let's just look at the numbers. So with numbers of receptions, nobody's ahead. With yards, nobody's ahead. With touchdowns, nobody's ahead. So for receptions, for yards, and for touchdowns, there's no rookie receiver that's better right now. I just give it to Terry McLaurin. Give it to Scary Terry. Give it to Ethel McLaurin. Damn it. And then finally closing down, my 2 candidates for Defensive Rookie of the Year. It's definitely going to be Josh Allen and Nick Bosa. I talked about Nick Bosa extensively last video. I showed you guys a couple of clips. That guy, whew, those Bosa boys, boy, let me tell you. Animals. And another one is Josh Allen. Josh Allen has been quietly and very surprisingly just wrecking teams, like truly just wrecking them. And then a little shout out on the side for Brian Burns, a player who has definitely produced, definitely not been anybody who struggled or anything like that, 1st-round pick. And that basically does it for me today, guys. Not too long of a video, just a quick overview of everything that's kind of happened throughout the year. And let's just see how the year ends. We've gone through 8 weeks. I can't believe it's gone that fast. I've loved every single moment of it. And we have another 8 more plus playoffs. So can't wait to talk to you guys again. See you next time. Peace.